Welcome to Birthing Purpose with Lana. I am so excited today. We have here Genine Ware. She is an attorney, singer, and entertainer, best known for her work in film and theater. Kansas native, she is widely recognized for her stage roles in musicals like The Color Purple and Dreamgirls, as well as screen appearances in Andromeda, Extraordinary, and Cowboy and Indian. Janine is also the CEO of Fortitude Filmworks, based in Dallas, Texas. She is the creator, writer, and executive producer of the sci-fi action TV series called Biocross. Welcome, Janine.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Yes, first off, congratulations on all your accomplishments. Are you like on cloud nine right
Really am. It pinch me. Okay, is this real?
Well, let's just jump right into it. Just tell the people
Okay.
a little bit about Biocross, and then I want to get into a little bit of your story, and we'll just go from there. Tell us a little bit about Biocross.
Well, Biocross is like a sci-fi drama because, hey, I was really into sci-fi, but I digress. Anyway, it's a sci-fi drama, and it more or less explores what happens when science is pushed too far and
Mm.
actually who pays the price.
Oh, all
Mhm.
right.
Some of that weird science going on.
So I've been watching a lot of your interviews, following a little bit of the production of Biocross, and to me, this isn't just filmmaking; it's a mission. It's like your purpose. So
It's
when I think about the birthing purpose is the name of my show. Birthing purpose can be a process. So I want to know a little bit about your journey through birthing Biocross.
Well, I've always been a storyteller. I've always been a writer, even from elementary school. I used to make up stories for not only my siblings, but for the kindergarten students, always telling a story. But that's because, hey, I grew up in a family of storytellers. I was truly, truly honored and blessed. My papa and my uncles, and I would just sit there fascinated as they were talking and telling their stories and their jokes and just enthralled. Telling a good story. That's what it's all about, and that's where Biocross came from. I've always been a sci-fi junkie, always loved things like Star Trek, the original Star Trek and all the alliterations of Star Trek and Star Wars. But anyway, storytelling, a good story. And like I said, sci-fi, I noticed that we are not as represented in the sci-fi genre
Yeah.
as I would hope to be. But my sci-fi is more or less a grounded sci-fi. It doesn't take place in space. It's something that could be happening right here and right now. Matter of fact, with genetic, bioengineering and people trying to bring back saber-toothed tigers and different things like that. Yeah, this actually is something that could be occurring in today's world.
So how did you birth the TV series? Like, did you just wake up and say, I want to make a TV series today? Like, how did
Absolutely not.
well, talk to me, like, how did you come to that decision?
When I was writing the story,
Mm.
I was trying to write a feature film, a script
Oh,
for a feature film. And then uh the story just became too much. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, wait. Okay, so where should I start it? Where should I end it? It was just too much for just a feature film. It's like, okay, I'm not trying to have people sit in a week in the theater trying to watch this movie. And so, so my daughter, she said, why don't you just write a series? And I was like,
mm,
and just like that, it came about by across the series. It is.
wow. Okay. All right. So once you decided to create this series, was there anything that you had to like sacrifice to actually get this emotion?
There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes in making your favorite movies and making your favorite series. I can tell you that much. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of determination. It's a lot of disappointments. Start, stop. But when God has a hand in it, all you can do is just let go, let God.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I've done.
So who are some of your role models in the industry that you wish or somebody you wish that you knew that when you were going through your hard times, I wish I could call this person. Like sometimes I wish I could call TD Jakes.
Mine, of course, are the obvious. I absolutely love Viola Davis. As a Black woman, a Black female,
Yes, yeah.
she is just her emotional depth, her talent is just phenomenal. And she brings a sense of grounded she grounds all of her roles where they're believable. You see her
Mhm.
in this role, whether it's a powerful, how to get away with murder
Oh, yeah.
versus this, and just the emotional depth and emotional range. She is just phenomenal. And she seems like a person that I would absolutely love just to sit down and have a coffee and chit chat with. And yeah. And then also Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
He gives back. I listened to some of his graduation speeches and his
Yeah.
encouragements and his words of wisdom. They apply whether you're an actor or just in life in general. So those are really two of the people that I think of that are actually role models.
Wow. So I heard you say in another interview that you don't have to be super, you just have to be human. How did you come
Yes.
to that realization?
My series, you have a lot of bioengineered humans with superpowers. And sometimes the lines come to me. No, I'm not crazy. I'm sitting there and then it's like, ooh, ooh. So I constantly like here, this is a notebook. I have multiple notebooks that I carry with me everywhere. I even have it by my bed as I sleep. So those times when I'm waking up and the character is talking to me, oh,
Hmm.
okay. Write this down, write this down. Sometimes it's in scribbles, sometimes it's in chicken scratch. I even have it when I'm driving and it's like, okay, I'm not looking up away from the road, but that writing, but not looking writing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, let me write this. And so sometimes just the lines just pop in my mind. And so that was one of those pop in my mind experiences. As a matter of fact, I was driving my car and when that line dropped.
Wow, you don't have to be super, you just have to be human. It just made me think about me, how I'm trying to always strive for perfection, and be this super woman. And it could be a lot. Sometimes we just have to.
Sometimes we just have to breathe, and it's okay
Yes.
to have flaws. It's okay to not be strong. It's like, uh,
Yes.
you
Yes.
can't be strong all the time.
I love that. So what is your core vision or message behind this TV series, Biocross?
Biocross actually it explores identity. I really am focused lately on the identity, because I even created this Men of Valor along with my creative team. We created this Men of Valor tour because when I'm looking at this, it's like, boy, this is a predominantly male cast. That was definitely not what I intended to do, but it was apparently what needed to be done. With our men, they face such pressure. The weight of the world is on their shoulders. Who do they turn to? It's a lot. And so they deal also with identity. What did they say? Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yes.
Well,
Wow.
who do you turn to when you're wearing the crown?
Yeah, men are dealing with a lot more than people realized. And what do you think people understand most about men today?
The thing is, we all have various definitions. It depends on what your definition of a man is. And that's where the miscommunication lies. It's like, okay, my definition of a man may be different from your definition of a man. And then everyone has all these definitions. And then the men are searching for their own definition of what it takes to be a man. People share that, hey, I grew up in a household full of women. I didn't have a man to tell me or show me what it's like to be a man. I had to come to that on my own. And so I think a lot of times our men struggle with the identity and who they are and what is expected of them as a man. I mean, we also kind of give confusing definitions. It's like, okay, a man should open up the door for a woman. You don't have to open up the door for me. I can open up myself. Or, it's like, okay, well, a man is supposed to be the head of the family. A man is supposed to provide. And then sometimes they can't. And then that's what the struggle is. Sometimes they can't. And so does that mean that they're not a man? Does that make them any less of a man? $1 million question.
So by being a predominantly all male cast, you are incorporating a lot of the men's struggles within this TV series. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Is definitely correct. They're
Oh,
struggling with, hey, their superpowers, but also they're just day-to-day issues.
so how do you make sure that you're telling these stories authentically?
When I just kind of listen, I'm an observer, and, and I listen to as men talk,
Mhm, mhm.
from what I've observed, what I've seen,
Yep.
think that I'm doing them justice, even if it's just a matter of just opening up the door and starting the conversation so that they can have that conversation themselves. It's like, oh, yeah, I struggle with that. Oh, yeah, I understand. Hey, I can relate to that character because, hey, I've been there, done that. So even if it's just to open up the door, of course, I can only give my views and my perspective, but I absolutely, definitely don't have. Um, I can't say what it's like to be a man.
Of course,
Uh-uh.
of
Yeah.
course. Right. So what role do you think women play in supporting men better? What could we do to support men better? Because you've been around this male cast now. I'm sure you've heard a lot of conversation. I'm sure they've given a lot of input to
Even
some
just being
how do
there.
you think we could better support men?
Be there. Listen without judgment. Sometimes they just want someone just to listen, not to tell them where they went wrong, how they went wrong, because believe me, they're probably beating themselves up for what they did wrong and how they did wrong. But sometimes I don't think we give them enough support. Think we give them enough flowers, and
Mhm.
I don't that we show enough appreciation. I had one cast member when we were talking about the Men of Valor. He was saying that, hey, I go out, I work all day, and then I come home, and it's my children who rush to greet me, who are so excited to greet me, but then my wife doesn't, and it's like, oh, and he said
Right.
that. Yeah, and it's like, wow, that was eye-opening in and of itself. We kinda open up that dialogue,
Yes.
that's that, where we can actually what can we do to better support our men? And just being there, being a listening ear,
Mhm.
judgment without criticism. However, I'm not saying don't tell them when they're wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying sometimes I think we could be better listeners.
Better listeners. And I know too, sometimes men like to hold stuff in. So I think if they learn how to communicate better too,
Yes.
but a lot of times they hold it in, and everybody's not a mind reader. Women do have that discernment, but we need that superpower.
No.
We don't have this mind reading power yet, but yeah,
Communication is
communication is
key.
key.
It really is because I can tell you with women and stuff like that. Okay, so what is he not telling me? Okay, so what's really going on? We are private investigators. We will we will dig, we will delve, we
Mhm,
will try to
mhm.
find out, and what we can't find out, we will. It's like okay, in my mind, he's doing this. In my mind, he's doing
Right,
that.
right.
But hey, yeah, communication.
Yes.
I agree.
Well, tell me a little bit about your character in Biocross as mom.
Yes, I play Nora Logan, who is the mother of Sam Logan, who
Okay.
is yeah, yeah. And so my thing is, hey, I was a retired nurse and I know Jacob Cross.
Okay.
I've known him since he was a teenager. I've known him from his early days. And there is a tie and there's a connection between Jacob Cross, Nora, and Sam. That's something that I definitely can't reveal. You have to watch the series to find out what's going on. Nora is also one of those grounded women. She raised Sam by herself, a Black woman, I mean, supportive. But there are certain things that she does not discuss.
Mhm.
It's like almost like the family secrets and different things like
Okay.
that. It's like, so there's questions that Sam has that she does not answer.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's going to create it's going to create some tension. It's like, okay,
Okay.
so why didn't you tell me? What aren't you telling me? And it's like,
Okay.
uh,
So, I read that you can cry on the spot.
I actually can. Oh my gosh, what did you mean?
You demonstrate the ability to access some deep emotion on screen like that.
Hey, yeah.
Can you do
In the
it?
Color Purple musical, I had to, boy, that was emotional. I definitely had to be able to cry and different things like that. But sometimes the crying, it's not really that. It's more or less tapping into your emotions. And so sometimes all you have to do is just, with me, I mean, there's just certain things that I can go to that
Okay.
just will tap into those
Yeah, I was gonna
emotions.
ask you, how do you get into that headspace to just boom, cry at a moment?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we all, you know what? We all have those dark spaces and those things where if we even after we're healed, even if we start thinking about those and accessing those places, it creates deep emotion in us.
And you can do it quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all wanna
If
see
that's
y'all wanna
necessary.
see her cry.
No, no, we don't. Hey, you know what? I worked hard on this makeup. No, no, ma'am.
Wow, so as a director, because you also have done some directing, right?
Yes, I have.
How do you get other people to go there?
Well, the thing about it is not everybody's a crier. As a director, my thing is
Okay.
understand who your character is. There's some characters, it's like, no, I'm not going to cry. I am not going to cry. And so it's their fighting not to cry that's powerful and emotional in and of itself. Uh-huh. It's like the suppression because, it's like, dang, yeah, she really wants to cry, but she's not. And so sometimes that's powerful in and of itself. So it's not about the crying on the spot. It's about understanding who your character is and knowing whether or not your character cries. But some people don't cry when they're sad. They cry when they're angry.
Right.
So it's just understanding your character, not just crying just to cry. It's
Yeah.
because there's a reason. Because the thing about it is when people understanding your why, they'll cry along with you.
So I know you're a woman of faith.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and I know throughout this journey, you've had to pull on the Lord and just walk by faith and not by sight.
Amen.
Have you ever felt like God was silent when you needed him the most?
When God calls you and when he gives you an assignment, sometimes the person he gives assignments to is the one who has the most doubt. Moses, who had a stuttering problem, he didn't ask to free the children of Israel. Did not. No, who was told to go to Nineveh and prophesy and tell them what saith the Lord, decided, no, I'm not going to tell them heathens nothing, and tried to run from his assignment. And
Right.
so sometimes we can run, but we can't hide. And sometimes when God calls us, when He gives you the assignment, He gives you the ability. And so what I had to realize is that it's not in my own strength that
Mhm.
I'm doing this because Janine, no, I'm not qualified. I'm not strong enough, but I know who is, and that's my God. And so sometimes I have to decrease so that God can increase. It's like, Lord, use me. If this is what you would have me to do, I'm gonna need a lot of hand holding, a lot of extra help in order to get this accomplished. And so sometimes it's just test of faith. So
Yeah.
I just have to trust and believe.
Yes. God has given you a lot to do. You are also an attorney
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
and a filmmaker by night. Here, you just turn in like Superman. You transform at night. And wow, how do you balance all of the and your mom?
Yes, yes, that was interesting. My babies grew up, they were theater babies, they were at the rehearsals with me. They knew the choreography, the words, the songs, the lines. Mom, you missed your cue. Mom, you
Oh,
missed your
oh.
mark. Mom, it's like, okay, you did the wrong move. Oh, they were quick to point out when I missed choreography. But it was doing something that I loved. And,
You don't even
was
know how you
thank
did
you.
it. God had kept balance it. Right? I don't know how I did it. It happened. I'm attorney, a mom, or everything. I'm just doing it up.
But it was the theater and the acting that kept me grounded. That's my peace. That was my therapy. So, when things got a little heavy and dark for Janine, I could be Dina Jones in Dreamgirls. I could be, Big Bond and Beautiful and Hairspray. I could be, Zanina Simone for Women. I could be somebody else for just a little bit, just the focusing in on the theater, focusing in on the acting, focusing in on the projects. That sometimes is therapy.
Escape.
It is.
That's amazing. So the series is coming out in the fall. Am I correct?
This is what I'm gonna say. Follow us on social media because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start posting our news, starting to post our behind the scenes footage and different things like
Okay.
that. So be on the lookout for that announcement. But yes, yes, it's coming.
Oh,
It's
gonna have a
coming,
nice
y'all.
big red carpet event that I can walk down.
Yes, ma'am. Most certainly.
I want to be there.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
hey, we gotta have you there. You need to come.
So, if someone is watching and they feel really inspired by your story, how can they become involved in this project? Are you looking for more actresses? Indeed, yeah.
Well, the one thing about it is, I always kind of have to go a step above and beyond. You know, when I wrote this series, I wrote a 5-year series treatment because sometimes you have to speak it into existence.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, hey, I like season one, we're going to have 8 episodes. And so, hey, there's still some casting needs. We still like to find people to collaborate with, sponsorships, because, product placement. We'd love to feature your product in one of our episodes and different things like that. So there's various different ways that you can help, that you can contribute, or even just following us on social media or just watching us, watching our series. That's support in and of
Absolutely.
itself because we appreciate you because you don't have to follow us. You don't have to like what we're doing. You don't have to watch and all the likes, the watches. We appreciate that. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Definitely. What are you most proud of yourself about?
I want to see that's a broad question. God has been so good. That's like, okay, just naming your blessings and different things like that. There's so many things, but what's important to me is like being a mom. My children are grown now, so I birthed them, I raised them. That was important. That's an important role
And they're proud of you, I'm sure.
to be a parent, and to do the best you can. I mean, none of us are perfect,
No,
not as parents. We are
no,
not.
no, no.
But I'm
All the
just
time, Lord, I'm sorry.
and
All the
it's like,
best.
"No, mom, I understand now why, because I said so."
Yeah.
You understand? So, yeah, but, that would be it, but I'm not downing any of the other blessings. I've been blessed to be able to have health and strength, blessed to act and
Mhm.
sing. Used to also I played violin for 8 years and orchestra, and, yeah, just so much to be thankful for. Too
Yeah.
many blessings.
One.
You
So many. Wow. I look
Yeah.
forward to interviewing the cast this week too. My cousin and I
Oh,
read
yes.
the cut creator. Oh, I can't
Oh,
wait.
yes,
And the
and
person
they are
said,
so
"Yeah,
good.
I'll help interview. I want to act. I want to act. She got any more acting roles?" I said, "Oh, I'll find out for you."
Actually do. So, yes, I actually do. Follow us on Official Biocross, and we'll have casting notices and, other ways that you can participate and help the series.
Yeah.
Yes.
Much for sharing your time with me today, and I look forward to the series whenever it comes out. And
Yes, ma'am.
and all of heaven are rooting for you. Woo woo!
Thank you.
It's gonna be phenomenal. I'm excited. I can't wait.
I cannot. Thank you so much.
Yes. Any last final words you want to say to the viewers?
No, I just, wanna say thank you. Thank you for your interest in Biocross, and I hope that you enjoy this story.
All right, you all. You heard her. Head over to Biocross, the official page on Instagram, right? Oh.
Official Biocross on Instagram. Yes,
And
ma'am.
follow you at Janine.
Underscore Fortitude Filmworks.
And where else can they find you?
Well, we do have our website on fortitudefilmworks.com. So,
.com.
yes.
All right, let's support it, you all. Let's support it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.